Assalomu alaykum aziz do'stlar, hamma friends, Ingliz tili TV kanali playlistimizni davom ettiramiz. Navbatdagi 22-darsimizga xush kelibsiz. Aziz do'stlar, demak tayyor bo'lsangiz darsimizni boshladik. Bugungi darsimizning mavzusi present simple vaqtida to be fe'li rad etish inkor negativ. Negativ alohida tarjimasi bu manfiy va aziz do'stlar, bugungi darsimizda biz siz bilan birgalikda yanada qiyinroq narsalarni o'rganamiz. Ingliz tilida yanada qiyin bu more difficult. Present simple to be negative, more difficult. Demak, navbatdagi misollarni birgalikda tarjima qilamiz. Mening do'stim u yerda emas. Mening do'stim my friend emas, u yerda da. Misolimiz tayyor, faqat misolimizga mos to be fe'lining to'g'ri shaklidan foydalansak kifoya. To be fe'lining qisqartirilgan shaklida rad etish inkor ma'nosi uchun formulamizni eslab olamiz. I'm not, we, you, they, aren't, he, she, it, isn't. Misolga qaytamiz. Mening do'stim my friend kim? Qaysi kishilik olmoshiga tegishli? U, ya'ni he. Demak, he biz inkor ma'nosi uchun isn't dan foydalanamiz. Mening do'stim u yerda emas. My friend isn't there. My friend isn't there. U shu yerda. U, his shu yerda, ya'ni bu yerda. Here, he's here. Mening do'stlarim u yerda emas. Mening do'stlarim my friends. Mening do'stlarim ular, ya'ni they. Demak, they biz inkor ma'nosi uchun aren't dan foydalanamiz. Emas. Aren't u yerda there. My friends aren't there. Ular shu yerda. Ular there shu yerda. Here, they're here. Bu narsa qimmat emas. Bu narsa this thing. Bu narsa jonsiz. Bu ya'ni it. Demak, it biz inkor ma'nosi uchun isn't dan foydalanamiz. Emas, isn't. Qimmat, expensive. This thing isn't expensive. Bu juda arzon. Bu it's juda very arzon, cheap. It's very cheap. Bu narsalar qimmat emas. Bu narsalar these things. Bu narsalar ular, ya'ni they. Demak, they biz inkor ma'nosi uchun aren't dan foydalanamiz. Emas, aren't. Qimmat, expensive. These things aren't expensive. Ular juda arzon. Ular they're juda arzon, very cheap. They're very cheap. Bu so'z men uchun yangi emas. Bu so'z this word. Bu so'z jonsiz, ya'ni it. Demak, it biz inkor ma'nosi uchun isn't dan foydalanamiz. Emas, isn't. Yangi, new, men uchun, for me. This word isn't new for me. Men buni juda yaxshi bilaman. Men bilaman. I know buni, it juda yaxshi, very well. I know it very well. Aziz do'stlar, menimcha bugungi darsimiz ham mavzu ham tushunarli. So'zlarni qaytarib, undan keyin darsimizda davom etamiz. Present simple to be negative, more difficult. I'm not, we, they aren't, he, she, it isn't. My friend isn't there. He's here. My friends aren't there. They're here. This thing isn't expensive. It's very cheap. These things aren't expensive. They're very cheap. This word isn't new for me. I know it very well. Davom etamiz. Bu mashina yangi emas. Bu mashina this car emas isn't yangi new. This car isn't new. Bu juda eski. Bu it's juda very eski old. It's very old. U darslar bepul emas. U darslar those lessons emas aren't bepul free. Those lessons aren't free. Bu darslar bepul. Bu darslar these lessons bepul are free. These lessons are free. Mening onam ishda emas. Mening onam my mother emas isn't ishda at work. My mother isn't at work. U uyda. U she's uyda. At home. She's at home. Mening otam tadbirkor emas. Mening otam my father emas isn't tadbirkor a businessman. My father isn't a businessman. U shifokor. U is shifokor a doctor. He's a doctor. Mening akam hozir bu shaharda emas. Mening akam my brother emas isn't bu shaharda in this city hozir now. My brother isn't in this city now. U boshqa shaharda. U his boshqa shaharda in another city. He's in another city. Another bu boshqa. Davom etamiz. Bu narsa muhim emas. Bu narsa this thing emas isn't muhim important. This thing isn't important. Bu ahamiyatsiz. Bu it's ahamiyatsiz unimportant. It's unimportant. Bu odamlar boy emas. Bu odamlar these people emas aren't boy rich. These people aren't rich. Ular juda bechora. Ular they're juda very bechora poor. They're very poor. So'zlarni qaytaramiz. This car isn't new. It's very old. Those lessons aren't free. These lessons are free. My mother isn't at work. She's at home. My father isn't a businessman. He's a doctor. My brother isn't in this city now. He is in another city. This thing isn't important. It's unimportant. These people aren't rich. They're very poor. Davom etamiz. Bu mehmonxona arzon emas. Bu this mehmonxona hotel emas isn't arzon cheap. This hotel isn't cheap. Bu juda qimmat. Bu it's juda qimmat. Very expensive. It's very expensive. Bu usul samarali emas. Bu usul this method emas isn't samarali effective. This method isn't effective. Bu shunday samarasiz. Bu it's shunday. So samarasiz ineffective. It's so ineffective. Davom etamiz. Bolalarga bu yoqadi. Aniq bolalar haqida gapirilyapti. Shuning uchun aniq artikldan foydalanamiz. Bolalarga the boys yoqadi bu. Like it. The boys like it. Yoki bo'lmasam bolalar uyda emas. Bolalar the boys emas. Aren't uyda at home. The boys aren't at home. Ular maktabda. Ular da maktabda. At school. That school. Darslar foydali. Ya'ni aniq darslar. Darslar the lessons foydali are useful. The lessons are useful. U darslar juda foydasiz. U darslar those lessons juda are very foydasiz. Useless. Those lessons are very useless. So'zlarni qaytaramiz. This hotel isn't cheap. It's very expensive. This method isn't effective. It's so ineffective. The boys like it. The boys aren't at home. That's cool. The lessons are useful. Those lessons are very useless. Aziz do'stlar, barchangizga rahmat. Bugungi 22-chi darsimiz ham o'zining nihoyasiga yetdi. Bizni kuzatishda davom eting, biz esa bu playlistni davom ettiramiz. My friends, thank you.